if you want to run the use cases that we have shown in this series of QRadar parsing videos, here we will explain all the steps that you need to perform to do that. The first one that I would recommend you to do is to add to your free QRadar CE, the free QRadar Log Sources Management app. All you need to do is go to the App Exchange, search for that, and you have it here. You can download it and install it, and I have all the videos that show how you do with that. In the QRadar CE series, you will learn how to do that. Now that you have that, the QRadar CE comes with a semantic parser, but it does not come with the carbon black protection parser. You need to add that. And in one of the videos of this series, actually the first one after the introduction, I'll show you how you go to Fix Central, download, and install that parser. So now you have the Log Source Management app, you have the two parsers that you need. Next comes installing or putting the log run command, which is native to the QRadar CE. If you SSH into the QRadar CE box under OPT QRadar BIM, you'll find the logrun.pl, the Perl script that is going to allow you to rerun the logs, as I did in the video. Now, I prefer to run this from a remote machine. I use my Kali machine to do that because sometimes QRadar, when the parser is failing, it fails to the IP address of the QRadar box rather than, which is 172.16.60.10, rather than the 124 that we saw in our videos, and it's because that's the IP address of my Kali machine. In order to install that into any Linux machine, I use Kali here, but you can use any Linux that you want, you need to get two things. So the first thing that you need to do is actually copy the logrun.pl from your QRadar box, and it's under this directory. You need to copy it using Valzilla, whatever you want, and then paste it into a directory of your choice in your Linux or Kali machine, wherever you want to run the logs from. But this logrun.pl needs a library. So this is the library that you actually need. So you need to probably go into the subdirectory up one level and do zip -r, say I'm going to call this output.zip, and then put the path to the folder, right? Yeah, something like that. So the command will be this. You run zip. Actually, it's lowercase r for recursively going and download everything under this directory, right? Once you have that, you need to move it and unzip it into the Linux box that you're going to be running the logs from. Now in the Linux machine where you're going to be running the logs from, and again, this is might be too much of a complication to run it from an external machine. It's more realistic. You can use the log run from inside the QRadar box. So what you need to do is that you need to, of course, do sudo apt-get update to update the machine. And once that's finished, you need to install Perl, which I already did. So you do that by doing sudo install Perl. And this is going to do it, and it's saying that it's not upgrading anything because I just have the latest version. So now you can run the actual commands that we run, specifying that the destination address will be the QRadar box. So that's the format. Log run from wherever you actually moved it. And the file is the log files, and I'm going to show you how you get those. And you specify the destination IP. In my case, is that address that ends in 10. The -t is for TCP format in order to, I mean, sometimes when the logs are too long, then they don't fit in UDP. -L is when I want to loop and go in and keep on sending logs until you do Control C. And 10 is the speed, 10 events per second. Now, the final part is that in the video description of all the videos that I put out, there is a link to a public box folder. One of the folders that you find in there is QRadar Parsing, and in it you're going to find this zip file that when you expand it, you're going to find all the logs that we actually use during this video series. If you want to have the commands per every one of these, you have this text file that shows you the instructions to do so. I'm not going to put that library and the log run because this is software that you can get on your own. And perhaps the last thing, in order to make sure that you don't have to, that you are not too familiar with QRadar and you want to learn these things, is how you make these type of searches. It's actually very simple, and excuse me, you can end the video for now if you know how to do this, but I'm going to edit this search to show you what I have. Is basically you go here and you remove all the, if you have any default columns in here, you remove them. If you did a new search, you basically, by, you know, if I don't want the category, I do like this and then it's gone. If I want to put it back, I select it from here and I click like that, right? If I want to put this one on top, I want to leave the payload last, I'll take this one and move it up. So this is how you set up the columns. It's actually very simple. I decided to order it by event name, but that is not necessary. And I put two conditions in here. One is this one, event name is not information name, because I want to filter information messages in QRadar. They can be noisy and can distract me. And I added this condition. It says where payload contains, and then if you are playing the carbon black, you put is any off in this condition. You're going to find the if any off, and then you put carbon black, or you put Linux if you are playing with Linux, or whatever is it that you are replaying. Then that is going to give you that nice format that we have in these searches. Actually, in quick searches, I have those type of searches that are better to see what is actually that you are doing. And by putting that search, then you know that, for example, if some people put in here searches by default that filters on, for example, SIM generic, and then you will be missing this. So make sure that these are the only search conditions that you have. And with this, you can reproduce the environment that we use in this video series. I encourage you to do so because you tend to grasp better the concept, and maybe you will come up with other examples, other things. And so I hope that you enjoy, and this makes you learn and practice something in QRadar that is not required to be used, but it might be a knowledge that can become useful at times.